What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Zoe, and today I'm talking about all of the books that I read in the month of February. So I did read about 7 books, I think it was, in the month of February, but today I can only talk about 4 of them because the other books I read are part of another video where I'm doing a secret TBR, and I'm not quite done yet, so I can't talk about those books yet. But I'm very excited for that video. The other books that I can talk about are right here. 3 of the 4 are from my Contemporary-a-thon. I did do a vlog if you would like to check it out. If you have already seen that, you probably already know my thoughts on those books, but one book that I have been dying to talk about because I loved it so much was the first book that I read in the month of February. That book is Long Bright River by Liz Moore. I love this book so freaking much. This was so well written. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I'm hesitating to describe what this book is about because when I tell you what it's about, it's not very interesting. This story is about 2 sisters who grew up in kind of rough circumstances, and we're following them now as they are adults. One of the sisters is a police officer, and the other sister is not doing as well. She is a drug addict. She kind of lives on the streets. She gets into some rough things, and you know, her other sister, obviously as a police officer, kind of has seen her go through some of these really difficult things. They have a pretty estranged relationship. During the time of this book, we're following the sister who is a police officer, and she's following this string of murders that happens during an opioid crisis in their city. Her sister has been missing for a couple months, I think it was, and she's starting to get really concerned. It's not unusual for her sister to go missing for a couple of weeks, but she really hasn't heard from her in a long time. She's afraid that she's dead. So we're following this main character as she's trying to find her missing sister. I know that that does not sound super intriguing, but the writing of this book was so well done. It has been such a long time since I have read a book that was written so well. I loved the voice of this book. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know that I'm not usually the first one to pick up really long books. This is almost a 500-page book, and it was so stinking good. I loved this. It's just crazy how much difference it can make when a book is written so well. Like, I don't care how long it is, I'm invested, I want to know more. We did get a dual timeline of seeing some parts of the sisters' lives when they were kids and kind of like what led them to their circumstances now. I can't say too much because it is kind of a mystery. I think this is being marketed as a mystery thriller. It's definitely more of like a literary fiction with some mystery elements, family, it's slow burn. It is so good. If you're looking for a new, just captivating book to read, I really recommend this one. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed my time reading this and cannot recommend it enough. Okay, so like I said, the next 3 books I'm probably going to go through really fast, to be honest, because I read all of these during Contemporary-a-thon, and they are right here. The first book that I read was Frankly in Love by David Yoon. This follows a Korean-American high schooler as he starts dating a white American girl, and then there's some fake dating involved. There's not too much that I want to give away. I always hesitate saying too much in these videos because I know I've done spoiler things in the past and I don't mean to. So now I am just really like concerned that anything I say is a spoiler, and I hate spoilers, so I don't want to do that to anyone else. But we follow this high school boy as he navigates what it's like to be a Korean American high schooler and finding love, and his parents are pretty racist towards anyone who is not Korean, so he has to deal with that a lot. Things that I loved about this book was the talk about Korean American culture. I feel like I learned a lot. I feel like I got to step inside this young boy's shoes and see what it would be like to live in today's day and age with racist parents and in that culture, and I thought it was a really fascinating story in that sense. Personally, I did not enjoy my time reading this book. There's something that happens in this book that I don't really love reading about. It takes a lot for me to still like a character after they do what they do with what he did, if that makes any sense at all. And I also felt like it wasn't discussed enough, like what this main character did, the choices that he made. I did not appreciate them. I don't feel like there was anything that was really redeemable during the story to make me root for this character. I hope that makes sense. He just wasn't my favorite character. I didn't mind the story per se, and I thought he was very witty and very funny. And this is an entertaining contemporary. If you're looking for something to pick up like that, I recommend this. But for me, this just wasn't something I enjoyed. I'm not someone who typically has to like the characters in a book in order to enjoy a book, but when you're supposed to like the main character and you don't, I think that's when I just stop enjoying my time with the book and the story. So for that reason, I did go ahead and give this 2 out of 5 stars. I forgot that I read Winterwood, but I DNF'd it. So there's not much to talk about there. I did not enjoy my time reading this book. I thought that the writing was so forced. I felt like the atmosphere was so forced. I did not enjoy anything about this book, honestly. Like, nothing. There was some mystery aspects that were keeping me intrigued for about 150 pages, and then when nothing else was moving, I was so done. I've heard that the ending of this book is really good, so if you're interested in reading Winterwood, you might want to consider picking it up, but this one just was so annoying for me to read. I really did not enjoy my time reading this. I really don't like when I'm reading a contemporary book or a middle grade book where the characters are speaking and doing things that are much older. It's very like poetic and flowery writing, and I just don't really love that too much, especially when the characters are younger. I want them to be younger and act their age. So there was no parents in this. Like, I don't like that. Where are the parents? There's gotta be parents. The next 2 books I absolutely adored with my whole heart, and they were A Heart and a Body in the World and A Quiet Girl in a Noisy World. They both end with the word world, which I didn't plan. This book follows our main character, Annabelle. She's a high schooler. I believe she's about to graduate high school, and right in the beginning of the book, something kind of triggers her to start running. She's a cross-country runner, and she decides that she is going to run from Seattle to Washington, D.C., and she kind of just on a whim decided to do it, and we're following her story as she does run these thousands of miles. We quickly learn that she experienced something very traumatic that was the cause of the triggering for her to start running, and oh my goodness, I loved our main character with everything in me. She was so real and raw and vulnerable and honest and strong, and everything that she experienced felt very honest and real, and I just loved this book. You don't learn about what actually happened, what the trauma was, until the very end, and it just, oh my gosh, I cried my eyes out. It was so well written, so intriguing. All of the characters I adored. This book is just so freaking good, and I want everyone to read it. If you enjoy young adult contemporary books that are hard-hitting and will make you cry, absolutely recommend this one. It is so good. 5 out of 5 stars. And then the last book that I'm going to talk about is Quiet Girl in a Noisy World. This is by Debbie Tung, and it is so good. This is a graphic novel, and it's all in this chromatic, like black and white and blue, gray kind of art. I really enjoyed the art style. I thought it was really cute. It's very cartoony, really easy to read. I read this probably in 30 minutes. If you are an introvert, you should read this book. And if you are an extrovert and you have introvert people in your life that you love, you should read this book. I felt so seen and heard and understood and empowered. As an introvert myself, I just want everyone to read this book and be like, hi, here is me. FYI, this is who I am. This just follows the story of a girl who's an introvert. There's honestly nothing crazy about it. I appreciated this book so much because I struggle all the time with being an introvert. It probably doesn't seem like I'm an introvert maybe on camera or like what I have shown the internet, but I am extremely shy. I am extremely introverted. I am an HSP, which is a highly sensitive person. I'm sensitive to things like noises and violence, and basically anything. I cry a lot. Hi, welcome, that's who I am. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And that's what this book celebrates, is someone who is more sensitive to crowds and has social anxiety. That's something that I left out. Social anxiety. It's just so hard to function sometimes with those things, especially I think in work situations, which this book addresses, in relationships, which this book addresses, in daily life. And I feel a lot of the times that I have to apologize or prove, you know, I don't hate you, I'm just an introvert. It's not that I don't want to spend time with you, I'm just an introvert. It's not that I don't want to go to that concert, it's just that it's going to be a miserable time for me. There are a lot of amazing things that quiet people and shy people, sensitive people have to offer this world, and I want that to be more celebrated, and I will never stop talking about it because it's just so important. This book was absolutely part of celebrating that. I enjoyed it so much, 5 out of 5 stars as well. Well, those are all of the books that I read. Well, those are some of the books that I read in the month of February. I know that was kind of a short little wrap up, but I did want to put it out there just in case because there were some amazing books that I read. Again, this was a really polarizing month for me. It's so weird. I don't think that I have had a 3-star book this whole year yet, which is just so unsettling. I feel like I don't know who I am anymore as a reader. It's a little weird. But you guys should let me know down in the comments below what is the best book that you read in the month of February. I love hearing what you guys are reading right now and what books you have loved, so please, please tell me. I hope that y'all have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are. I love you so much, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye!